issues? Now what?
I had a friend that went to My Computer Career.
They even helped him get hired immediately after graduation.
One of the things I love about IT is that you can work from anywhere you want.
You could become an IT pro in just months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI with zero experience at mycomputercareer.edu.
It worked for me, and I know it can work for you.
This is one student's experience. Individual results vary.
Wow, it's you, the Capital One Bank guy.
That's what they call me.
Mind if I get a selfie?
Yeah, sure thing. Say no fees or minimums on your Capital One checking account.
Wow, that's a keeper. So, where are you heading?
I'm off to spread the good news that Capital One helps people keep more money in their wallet with no overdraft fees.
Oh, you're the best Capital One Bank guy.
Hey, mind if I get a selfie?
Sure.
Say, Capital One, what's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com/bank for details. Capital One NA, member FDIC.
This is Paul Feinbaum. That'll do it for me today. Coming up next, The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Your Rocket City Trash Pandas are back right before Independence Day for a 3-game homestand July 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. The homestand concludes with a special Independence Eve celebration featuring a 6:05 p.m. start time and post-game fireworks show. Get your tickets for the homestand now by visiting TrashPandasBaseball.com.
John Abraham here for Bobcat of Huntsville. Right now till the end of June, you can get 0% financing on the world-famous line of Bobcat skid steers, excavators, mowers, and tractors. Need attachments? They got them. And did I mention 0% as in nada? No financing charge for 48 months. It's like free money. Visit the brand new Bobcat of Huntsville in their tremendous new facilities on Highway 20 in Madison, right next to Redstone Harley-Davidson.
Flying nonstop from Huntsville is a breeze on Breeze Airways. They're nice people, flying nice people to nice places on really nice planes. Let's be direct. Nonstop from Huntsville to the places you want to go. Las Vegas, Orlando, or Tampa, starting at $49. It's time for a weekend getaway or a long overdue week away. Time to check in using the convenient Breeze app and check out. What are you waiting for? Book today at flybreeze.com. That's flybreeze.com. Breeze Airways. Seriously nice.
Hey folks, this is Arthur Seaton, managing partner at University Kia, proudly saying Roll Tide and War Eagle. Stop into University Kia today and shop one of the area's largest selection of new Kias, including Fortes, Seltos, Telluride, and Popular Carnival, and fully electric EV6. View all the great specials at universitykia.com and get pre-approved in minutes so you can drive home your new Kia if you really want, because we want to see you in a University Kia.
Mike Rowe here with a quick question. Have you noticed mold, mildew, bowing walls, or water in your basement? I hope not, but if you have, your basement is losing the war against groundwater. That's where AFS comes in, a groundworks company. They can honestly assess your situation and create a plan to waterproof your basement and stabilize your walls. Schedule your free inspection at afsrepair.com/row. And while you're there, check out my latest dirty job.
Licensed in all states where work is performed. See website for detail.
There's power in caring when it is put into action. Each year, our bankers serve on nonprofit boards, support our local educators, and volunteer with our hometown food bank. I'm Bobby Humphrey, Vice President of Business Development for Bryan Bank, and community service is just not a line item in our mission statement. It's who we are. Because after all, Alabama is our home too. That kind of commitment to community might not be what you would expect from a bank, but it's exactly what you can expect from us. Give us a call or stop by one of our 2 offices in the Huntsville area and experience unbeatable service and legendary results.
Bryan Bank Equal Housing Lender, NMLS ID 2428943, member FDIC.
Where's the best place for sports? What about the best place for wings? If you answered Jefferson's for both, you're right. Jefferson's is also a great place for value. Every Monday, kids eat free with the purchase of an adult meal, and teachers bring your teacher ID, and you eat free every first Tuesday of the month up to $15. And Owens Crossroads, Jefferson's will be opening a new location at 326 Sutton Road very soon. Jefferson's, best place for sports, best place for wings. Hampton Cove, and soon in Owens Crossroads.
The Atlanta Braves.
Swung on and crushed deep left field. Kepler going back. Here comes some late night dynamite here at Truist Park. A walk-off home run by Marcelo Zuna.
All season long on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. WCZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. 97.7 ESPN The Zone. This hour is brought to you by Woody Anderson Ford, Alabama's F-150 Superstore. Welcome to The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton. Call into the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline, 256-576-4977.
That's how I roll, and I'm not going to drink and drive anymore.
That's 256-576-4977. Now, here's Wes and Steve.
Right out of the gate, we've got a guest, but I'm going to put him on hold here for a second just because I want to bathe in the tears of a Mets bullpen.
3-1 pitch. And that's hit in the air to deep left field. Nemo back over his head, off the wall on the fly. Olsen will score. Ozuna into third base.
Yeah.
RBI double, as that was absolutely tagged by Riley. 7-3 Braves.
Braves were down 3-0, and then the Mets bullpen gloriously took over last night, and the Braves winners 7-4 last night. We'll see whether or not the Braves can keep up their winning ways tonight, and we're actually walking up to Braves baseball as well, and over on Talk Radio, WZZN, walking up to Trash Panda baseball.
We got you covered for baseball tonight.
Yes, we most certainly do. Some sad news how are you, Wes Neighbors?
I'm doing good. Thanks for asking.
Absolutely. There is some sad news to share right out of the gate, and he
was an icon. There's
John
North
Pruitt
Alabama.
is who we're speaking of.
Yeah. So we've lost two icons the last 5 years. Two of the best writers, and of course, I think he's the best writer that Huntsville ever had, in my opinion. I mean, we've had some good ones.
I got a good one on hold right now.
Yeah, and then of course, our boy from Tuscaloosa.
Yeah,
Cecil Hurt. I mean, good night. But those guys, they were must reads at one time. I mean, back in the day when everybody got a paper, right?
Yeah. How about that?
Yeah.
Mark McCarter is kind enough to join us. He penned a column honoring his friend and his boss. And Mark is kind enough to join us right out of the gate. How are you today, Mark?
Well, sad day. It's tough news, obviously, but lucky to have had 10 great years working alongside John and knowing him for much longer than that, and remaining friends with him and seeing him regularly after his retirement.
Yeah, it's tell me a little bit about, because I know a little bit about your past coming from Chattanooga here to Huntsville, of those interactions. I'm sure you probably knew John before you started to work with him.
I knew John when I was still at the paper in Chattanooga, and John was among those who gave me a good recommendation for the sports editor job in Anniston back in '89, which is really what got this crazy path started. And John would never want to take the credit or the blame for that, probably the blame. But just such a good man. It struck me just a while ago that the fact, all the wonderful words coming out about John today, the fact that you guys want to talk about a man who last wrote a column 15 years ago, that he is still that relevant and it touched that many lives. This says so much to me about John, that legacy and the memories carry on. I know, for Wes, John was a 3-generational sports writer for your family, knowing your dad so well, and covering you and Keith through your years.
He went up to us with my dad when he got inducted in the Hall of Fame.
Right. And then being around for your kids too. So it's just been, it was 42 great years at the Huntsville Times, or most of it at the Huntsville Times, as a columnist and sports editor, and just millions of words he typed, and did it with class and elegance, and John was the type that he was a very genuine person with a caring heart, a helpful soul about him, and it was much more than just a great sports writer. He's a great person.
100%. So, Mark, talk a little bit about the difference now, as far as reporting on sports versus back in the day when it had to be fun working for a news organization, I would think.
And John was really blessed, and I was too for a lot of my career, to be right there in some of the glory days, because you it's a cliche, the newspaper was part of the fabric of the community, but it truly was.
100%.
People in Huntsville would go, I can't wait till Sunday morning, can't wait to pick up the paper in the front yard to see what John had to say about the game yesterday. Now it's, I'm going to click on my phone and see what tweets coming out from Kirk Herbstreit. Well, no, this was a guy like John, and I was blessed to be able a part of that generation too, in some ways, could watch a game to find an interesting angle to relay and hopefully tell a story and maybe share an opinion. And you had relationships, good relationships then with coaches and with players. The media outlets were fewer and far between. Coaches weren't as paranoid and controlling, and you did have deep relationships and close relationships. I hear John talk about Coach Bryant, and he always referred to him as Paul. None of this Bear and none of this Coach Bryant. That was a relationship. He would talk to Paul, and it was a wonderful time. And when you got one-on-one time with athletes and coaches, when you had their trust, and certainly John was worthy of the trust that people put in him. He didn't burn people. He didn't, breaking a story was important. Writing a good story was more important, and having trust and integrity was most important for John.
Yeah. And you can tell him anything. I mean, you tell him, you gave him information and he'd ask if he could use it or not. I mean, so that's,
yeah.
How can you not trust a guy like that? I mean,
I know it's fair game.
Yeah.
I think back, one of the great trust things in John's case was the relationship he had here in town with a guy who was a workout buddy of Jose Canseco. And so when the steroid stuff was all coming out, the guy told John and gave John a lot of things and said, do me a favor, I'm giving you this, don't print it until I'm dead. And sure enough, years later, the guy passed away. John wrote the story.
Wow.
He had interesting stuff, but he was, he had trust, and people had trust in him.
Yeah. Talking to Mark McCarter right now on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline, and at least one of the side gigs that I do is call games for ETV with the Huntsville City School System. And of course, his son previously was, before retiring after this past season, was the head coach at for Huntsville High for the girls soccer team. And it was, right, for me, honestly, I just talking to the coaches, and I certainly would ask Thomas about his father, but he would attend those all the time and would come up, and I just had so much fun. And I would call him Mr. Pruitt for the longest time, but John would come up to me, and it was fun to have those interactions. And I think that's what I'm going to miss the most, Mark.
John was above all a great father and just a terrific grandfather. He was there for the kids' games. He was there for Tom. He and his wife Bobby had 3 kids, Pat and Afton and Tom. Great story that Tom just went to the Huntsville Madison County Hall of Fame this past year, joining his father in the Hall of Fame. And Tom was a really good high school soccer player at Huntsville High, and told me the story about being at I'm going to get the games backwards. That's right. This is it. He'd been playing soccer in an afternoon game on Friday, and John was waiting on him, basically motor running, ready to peel out of the parking lot to drive down to, I think, Coleman, to a high school football game that night because Tom was the kicker on the football team. And he had all Tom's equipment in the car. So Tom's putting on his uniform in the car. They screech into the parking lot just as they noticed that Huntsville was about to score. So Tom hustles out, sprints out on the field, gets there just as Huntsville scores a touchdown, doesn't catch a breath, goes running on the field and kicks the extra point. By that point, John's probably still in a car. But yeah, John, he was there for the kids. And boy, what a doting grandfather. And just a, treasured friend and to work alongside. And you mentioned seeing him at soccer games. I can remember Ron Ingram, who was with the Alabama High School Athletic Association, said this one time to me, said, John attended a lot of big events, but what happens in Huntsville is when John attends events, it becomes a big event. John was there. When John would be at a football game, a high school football game, that was the big game. People noticed John was there. And he carried that kind of clout and that kind of weight and that kind of respect. And John covered all the big time stuff. Y'all know that. I mean, he did the Olympics in Atlanta, where, by the way, the night of the bombing, somebody stole his laptop.
Wow.
He went to Wimbledon when Brian Shelton reached the quarterfinals over there one year. John covered countless bowl games, national championships, was a fixture at Augusta, and covered the Kentucky Derby. But John would always tell me the most fun I ever had were those first 4, 5, 6 years in Huntsville, covering high school, knowing those coaches and knowing those players. And those are the people, as I wrote in the obituary today, those are the people that became his friends, and they became his hundreds and thousands of readers through the years. And those are the people that are join us in being awfully sad today.
Well, yeah, and certainly also a big event that we're a fairly big part of over the past decade or so is I get to call the high school basketball games over at Huntsville High School, formerly known as the Huntsville Times Classic, but it is still the John Pruitt Trophy awarded at the end, and I think rightfully so.
Oh yeah, I think that's great. That was part of the deal with when we were sponsoring the tournament, that somebody came up with that. It's a great idea. It brings to mind that I was always pretty honest with John. I wouldn't just lie to him. We worked together really, really well. But Don Mincher and I one day kind of combined with the idea of, let's name the press box at Joe Davis Stadium for John.
Yeah, I remember
that. That's a no-brainer. So we pick a night that we're going to do this, and John would come out to a lot of the Stars games. I said, John, you going to get out there Tuesday night? Well, I don't know. Grandkids got a soccer game. One of those kind of excuses. And finally, Mincher called up John and just we told him a bold-faced lie we came up with. Said, John, the president of the Southern League is going to be in town, and they're giving McCarter some kind of honor because he's covered the Southern League for 50 years or something, one of these deals. And John got, okay, well, for Mark, I'll be out there. So John and I wander down, and I'm trying to keep a straight face, and we're sitting in the dugout 10 minutes before first pitch. And we had told his family about it. They were all hunkered down behind the dugout where he couldn't see him. And they start with the PA announcement, and I'm going, oh, God, John, here it goes. I said, would you at least walk out there with me? He goes, yeah, okay. So get him halfway out of the dugout, and then they start talking about him and naming the press box for him, which well-deserved honor and just things that can keep John's memory alive and his legacy alive. The more the better.
Yeah, it's in fact, that one of my last interactions was I was coming from this talk show to call a game, and I was flying in on two wheels, and I mean, he came over to me last minute, but I was like in crash prep mode, and I was as politely as I could be like, I got to get my stuff ready. I got to get and I felt so bad. I called him afterwards, and he was like, "You don't have to call me for that. You're doing your job." But I mean, anytime he wanted to talk to me, I viewed as precious.
Yes. Yeah, indeed. So part of what I wrote on the Facebook post today is I was the other columnist at the Huntsville Times alongside him for 10 years. And I got to do some cool stuff and occasionally typed a few decent words in there, but I was always the other guy. And I said, that feels like, I feel like whatever was on ABC the night that CBS ran the final episode of MASH. I'm just, I was in the shadow.
Come on now.
I was in the shadow, and that's great. But the worst part about it, being the other columnist, is John and I spent all our time going different directions.
Yeah.
We seldom got to cover anything together. Now John would regularly come out to Joe Davis and Stars games, and I'd do 20, 25, 30 games a year out there. And we obviously would cover the Alabama-Auburn game together, along with Alan Clemens and Mike Easterling and Philip Marshall and Gene Duffy and other guys. But there weren't just a lot of time of John and me going anywhere. And I think one of the best things we ever did was when John Stallworth went into the Pro Football Hall of Fame, and it was a great project working together on that. And I just got a text from John a few minutes before we went on air, just from Stallworth saying, he's so sad and fondly remember days of John sitting around with Louis Cruz and Coach Cruz's crowded old storage room / office.
Yeah.
And you think about it, John was colorblind there. John was going to be at A&M. It didn't. He and Coach Cruz were tied. You think about all the legends in Huntsville sports, from your daddy to Coach Cruz to Spike to Stallworth to all these people that accomplished so much. John was right there and writing about them and supporting them and befriending them and just a special man.
I one of the first things that I did is went up and covered an Alabama A&M football game, and I had Ike Rooks to my left and John Pruitt to my right. And I didn't realize, I realize it now sitting here today, but really befriended both of them. But even in Ike's passing, it was, we've had some incredibly talented folks here in North Alabama is where I'm headed.
Yeah, no question. And one that hurt John as much as any was his great friend, Bill Easterling.
Yeah.
Of course, Wes, you knew Bill.
Oh, yes.
And that was that's been 20 years ago or more, I guess. And just the stories from Bill and John together and what they built at the paper. When Bill was sports editor and hired John, and they made this little old mid-city newspaper sports section one of the best in the Southeast, and it was just ambitious in what they covered and just the talent that they had and that they collected.
Well, one of the more memorable shows I can remember doing this show is inviting you and John over at the old studio, and we just sat down and kind of hashed out. I don't know if you remember it, Mark, but it was that was a very special show for me because it was kind of cool. It was like both you and John giving us the stamp of welcome to the table kind of thing.
Yeah, it's great fun. Anytime with him and yep. Didn't miss the old guy.
Yeah, absolutely. So what's the next book you're working on? Because how many books are we on now, Mark? Is it?
I've done 4 and doing some homework on research on a couple of others. So this retirement of mine a year ago.
Everybody says they're retired. Everybody works harder in retirement. Is what I've seen.
Well, yes. Especially the married men among retirees.
I can't thank you enough for hopping on. I know it's a difficult day for a lot of us, and I appreciate the trip down memory lane, sir.
Hey, I appreciate you guys wanting to pay tribute to him, and like I said at the outset, this right there just says a lot about John. That we want to talk about a guy that's been retired 15 years, so. We'll miss him, and I appreciate y'all letting me talk about him.
Absolutely. And if we can help in any way, give me a holler, please.
All right. See you guys soon.
Absolutely.
Thanks, Mark.
That's Mark McCarter joining us, reflecting on we're all the world was a better place. And I'm going to miss I'm serious about that. One of that last interactions I had. I mean, I was coming in on 2 wheels and I felt so awful. I was even talking to Tom, his son, and he was like, he's okay. But I called him and he was like, you're good. You're good. It's all good. But you're John Pruitt. And just a guy with a microphone in front of my face.
Yeah. If you want to keep up with more of Mark McCarter, you pick up a copy of his first book, Never a Bad Game.
That's right.
About
Got
baseball.
that. Yep.
And he's also written a couple of books on Hustle. Written a couple of books on the Rocket City Trash Pandas. Neverabadgame.com is Mark's website. You can read all of that, including the article on John Pruitt. So very, very good writing there.
And just so people know, I went over to nationalsportsmedia.org, of which I'm a member, and I did not realize Mr. Pruitt, I still want to call him Mr. Pruitt, 16-time Alabama Sports Writer of the Year. 16 times. I mean, his Mark's column about John is also over on the nationalsportsmedia.org page as well, and they have put up a tribute to John as well over there if you'd like. So felt obligated to start the show that way, and I really appreciate that. In terms of working relationships, it didn't get any tighter between John Pruitt and Mark McCarter.
And just to bump into Mark every so often, and Mr. Pruitt, right there.
And in one of the first interactions I had, I told him, because I came from the Atlanta market, there was on WSB TV, the lead anchor, his name was John Pruitt in Atlanta. So I said, any relation? And he said, not the first time I've had that, son. And I am less photogenic. So I imagine he got that a little bit here and there. But yeah, the lead anchor in Atlanta for me growing up and for a long time was John Pruitt. So going from John Pruitt to John Pruitt. Anyway, just wanted to honor the man, gonna miss him dearly. John Pruitt, who passed away at the age of 83. Let's take our first time out. Phone line's open to you if you'd like to react to that at 256-576-4977. We'll be right back.
You're listening to The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
All good things must come to an end. That holds true for employee pricing, too. Hey, folks, it's Bobby White back again for Woody Anderson Ford. The last day for employee pricing is going to be July 7th. Up until then, you can buy the new Ford you want and pay what we pay. We've got nearly 150 F-150s to choose from with generous finance rates and the best deals of the year on America's best-selling truck for 48 years in a row. Had your eye on a Bronco Sport? It's employee priced, and we've got over 60 to choose from. Full-size Bronco, we've got over 40. New shipments of Explorer, Expedition, and Escape have just hit the ground too. Again, all things must come to an end, and the last day for employee pricing is July 7th. Time to hit it and get it. Employee pricing can save you up to thousands off MSRP. With over 600 Fords to choose from, there's a good chance you'll find exactly what you need. Woody Anderson Ford. It's important to see us before July 7th.
Hi, this is Wes Neighbors. I'm here with Sam Fleming with Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Sam, tell the folks about Fleming Roofing and Restoration.
Hey, Wes. Our company, Fleming Roofing and Restoration, specializes in commercial and residential roofing and repairs. I'm a fifth-generation Huntsvillian, and our family's been doing construction business in Huntsville area since 1965.
Sam, what kind of roofs does Fleming Roofing and Restoration do?
Our guys are skilled enough. We can come out and address any kind of leaks or issues you might have on your commercial, on your metal roofing, on your shingles. We can do anything, and we can offer you a solution to repair it, or we can replace it.
Well, you guys also do insurance restoration.
Our staff has 10 plus years of experience as insurance adjusters, and we really do know the inside and out of the claims process at Fleming Roofing and Restoration.
Check out Fleming Roofing and Restoration online at FlemingHSV.com, or you can call or text them at 256-651-9440.
Hey, Wes, we show up.
SportsMed is the official team physicians of the Rocket City Trash Pandas. And if the pros trust SportsMed, you can too. SportsMed provides every service you might need for complete orthopedic care, specializing in orthopedic surgery, sports medicine, joint replacement, spine surgery, neurosurgery, and podiatry. And they offer their own brace shop, in-house full-body MRI, physical therapy, walk-in clinic, and so much more. 4 locations and on the web at sportsmedalabama.com. Since 1983, Berkshire Hathaway Rise Real Estate's Ann Adams has been your local go-to real estate expert in the area. As a buyer, you can trust Ann's in-depth knowledge of the local housing market to narrow available properties down to those you'll be interested in, saving you time when shopping for a new home. When you're ready to sell, Ann's expert negotiation skills will ensure you get a fair price and hassle-free experience. Call Ann Adams today at 256-337-2625 or email annadamsrise@gmail.com. Eagle Masonry and Installation. It's right there in the name. Eagle is your one-stop shop for block, stone, or brickwork, monument signs, and outdoor kitchens and fireplaces. Eagle also offers the finest craftsmanship and insulation, including fiberglass or spray foam insulation, and of course, insulation removal. Philip Love and his team have years of experience, bringing the region the best in masonry and insulation services. For more information and a quote, visit insulatewitheagle.com or call 256-755-1556. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
This segment of The Drive is brought to you by Woody Anderson Ford, located online at woodyAndersonFord.com with 2 locations, Hughes Road in Madison and Jordan Lane in Huntsville.
Back here with you on The Drive. Yeah.
See, there's a show that goes on.
Yeah, there's a pre-show show that we're a part of.
Yeah, and Steve and I were swapping band stories earlier.
Yeah.
Turns out we both played trumpet back.
Yeah, that's right.
Back in the day.
They sure did.
Since y'all played trumpet?
No, this is Dizzy Gillespie.
Yeah.
We're not even in that orbit.
No.
This music makes me dizzy.
Well, Dizzy Gillespie was.
So did you watch the movie, the series Bosch?
No. Who's that?
Oh, it's just a series back in the teens that was on there. He loved jazz.
Oh, okay.
I think he talks about this guy, y'all.
Dizzy?
I'm not into this.
I've heard of that show. I just haven't got to it.
Yeah.
There is a great museum in Cleveland, Mississippi. I mean, it's literally in walking distance. Like, I know because I've done it. I've walked over of the Grammy Museum. It is amazing of everything that you can go through. It's not a very large building, but it's concise, and you get to hold a Grammy too. I didn't realize how heavy those things are as well.
Anyway, Dizzy Gillespie featuring Charlie Parker.
Night
in Tunisia.
256-576-4977. The telephone number. Some headlines for you. Texas State has informed the Sun Belt as of this afternoon of them expected in the near future to be a part of the Pac-12.
What?
Yes. Texas State. Texas State is, did you know Texas State is now part of the Pac-12 conversation?
So that's all three of them? Are there three teams now? Who else is part of the Pac-12?
I think Gonzaga is going in just as a basketball member, but then there's a bunch of states. There's like
San Diego State?
Yeah, there's a bunch of states, University of whatever state going into the Pac-12. So we'll see how that pans out.
But are they going to be but they're not going to be a power conference.
I don't see how.
Yeah.
I really don't see how. Although they did announce their agreement with CBS.
So Oregon State and Washington State.
That's, yes.
Are still in the Pac-12, right?
Mhm.
And they got to keep all that money, right?
They did. They did.
How much money was that?
I would imagine it was pretty significant with all of the exit fees of everybody doing the mass exodus over to the Big Ten, a large part of that money. But it's Washington State, Oregon State, Boise State, Utah State, Colorado State, Cal State, Bakersfield, San Diego State, and now Texas State.
Whoever's updating the Wikipedia,
Well,
for
they
need to step it up. There's not a lot of any of that in there.
Oh,
so
is
they
there
realize
not?
Texas
Got Oregon
State's
State
not
and
in
Washington
California, right?
And rumor that UALR as well. Yeah, I mean, when I think Pac-12, I think Arkansas, Little Rock. Yes. Although they drove the LSU baseball team to the brink before LSU was able to get out of that regionals into the supers. Anyway, I mentioned we obviously talked a lot about Mr. Pruitt right out of the gate. And if you'd like to react to that, you can certainly do so. Walking up to Braves baseball with the Braves and Mets coming up here tonight. Let's talk to Bryce, who is called in. How are you today,
Man,
Bryce?
where you been, Bryce?
Yeah.
I've just been here and there. My schedule hadn't cooperated with talking to you guys. But I want to tell y'all something. I don't know if y'all have heard this. It's from a reliable source.
Uh-oh.
You know, there was a SEC school offered a quarterback $8 million.
$8
And you
million?
know which quarterback it is, right?
$8 million. You said $8 million. I've not read this story.
I've said it, but I've seen the story, and it's hard for me to believe for this and this reason only. Supposedly,
It was the Noah Sellers out of the South Carolina quarterback.
right? But when he's
from a reliable source, guys.
Okay.
Well, here's the problem though, Bryce. He said he was offered after the spring, and he can't go to another SEC school after the spring.
Yeah, yeah.
So they could have said we would have offered you $8 million, but he couldn't go to another SEC school. So
I'm waiting for that lawsuit, by the way, as well.
Yes.
Well, he was offered that. That's why they wound up with the guy from Oklahoma, is what I'm thinking.
Mateer?
Well, y'all don't want to guess the school that did it? Come on now, y'all better than that.
We don't want to get. I went at a Big Ten school.
It was SEC school.
It was a.
See, that's why I don't buy it.
That doesn't make any sense to me.
Because he couldn't have left then.
Yeah.
You can't go to SEC school to SEC school in the spring.
Because I know, wasn't it Wisconsin offered the Texas quarterback like $4.5 million to stay in college?
Let me stay focused on this for a minute.
Okay,
guys.
go ahead. Go ahead. Well, just tell us then.
Yeah, I don't.
So, guys, how did the Oklahoma quarterback get to Harvard?
Well,
You couldn't go to another school.
Well, he went.
was offered
Yeah,
that
he went in the
first.
fall. He went in the fall, and supposedly.
That's what I'm saying. That's when this guy was offered. Okay, it was Auburn offered him. That's how they wound up with Oklahoma quarterback, and that's from a reliable source. That was from y'all know Corey Miller, right? A big alumni with South Carolina.
No, I don't know that name.
I do. It's the Miller that played at Alabama's daddy.
Oh, yes.
Christian Miller's dad.
Yeah, Christian Miller.
Yes, yeah, I do know that name. I'm sorry.
We've met
That's
him.
a reliable source. He told me that himself because I talked to Corey and him on Christian on their show, and he come out and said it. I don't think Corey would have said that if it wasn't true.
It sounds like they're recycling Cam Newton stories.
Wow. Wow.
I can find out for sure. I'll tell you that.
It don't surprise me at all.
Yeah, you're gonna have to catch Hugh between tea times.
Yeah.
Right now.
I don't buy that story either.
Yeah,
Yeah, I need a confirmation on that.
Yeah,
I need a second source.
Casa Grande writing this story about Hugh Freeze and rounds of golf. I mean, goodness. Wow.
Hey, I'm rooting for him to win 8 games because I'm going to get real nervous if he don't, because they get rid of that idiot. You know, and I don't want them getting rid of him. That'd be bad. You know, I want him to stay at Auburn. That's just who they need there. They must try and get somebody better. If they keep swinging at the fence. Hey, Wes, how's your knee? Have you run any marathons lately?
No, I won't be running any marathons anyway before the knee surgery. I wasn't ever. I don't know any offensive linemen that were very good marathons.
I bet you could have run marathons back in the day.
No, heck no.
Back in high school,
I was a sprinter.
Okay, short.
I know.
Yeah.
I'm just picking at you, Wes. How's your knee?
Oh, it's better. It's a lot better. I mean, it's getting there. It's
Good.
still
I'm
work in
glad to hear
progress.
that.
Yeah.
But I just thought I would share that little tidbit with you.
Yeah,
I don't know how much I buy that. No pun intended, but I don't know how much I really buy that.
Well, it's a story. I know that.
Is it?
I've seen that. Yeah, I've seen the story.
Corey
But-
Miller wouldn't come out and say that if it wasn't true, I don't think. Corey's a pretty stand-up guy.
I'll try to do some follow-up on that.
I've read the article, but I read articles every day that are just.
Well, I will tell you that I have sent out my mass email. In fact, I did it last week to all of the SIDs or communication directors. And I know Alabama and Auburn were very quick to respond. So I'd like to believe that Kalen DeBoer and Hugh Freeze will be with us during SEC Media Days.
Oh, they will. Hey, listen, one other thing, guys. Y'all are talking about the Pac-12 or
That's
whatever
right.
you want to call it.
Yep.
Why don't they just call it the Pac-State? That's all everybody State University.
Well, it was the Pac-8 there for a minute. I mean, I can remember the Pac-8.
Pac-State.
So
Pac-State.
Washington State and Oregon State got $65 million when the other schools left.
Money.
Yeah, $65 million.
30-something million apiece.
Is that before or after taxes?
For a while, it was to pack up and go.
Yeah,
sure was.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. Pack up and go. That's pretty good too there. I like that, Brian. But
Take it, use it as your own.
I would share that tidbit with y'all, but it coming from Corey and him telling me, I think it's a reliable source. That's why they wind up with the guy from Oklahoma, because they didn't get the big fish.
Well, don't be a stranger, Bryce. It's always good to hear from you. We are going to be out next week, but
it's just my schedule.
All good.
Has been working with me, and I'm fixing to go to work now, guys. Y'all have a good night, and I appreciate y'all letting me talk. And I just thought I'd share that with you.
Thanks for calling.
Thank you, Bryce.
We got to root for him. Auburn's got to win 8 games, or it'll get real nervous down there on the plane. So I'm going to root for them till they win 8 games.
Appreciate the phone call there from Bryce. 256-576-4977, the telephone number.
Got Hot Rod on the line.
Come on, Hot Rod. Where in the world have you been? Wow, Hot Rod. The floor is yours.
Thank you, sir. How y'all doing this afternoon?
Doing well. Where you been hiding?
Just been hanging out.
It's good to hear from you. What's on your mind?
Y'all might have covered this earlier. I'm coming to the show late, but John Pruitt passed away today.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah,
we spent the first segment with Mark McCarter about it.
Okay, I'm sorry.
All good. No, all good.
But do you have a special thing that about John?
Yes, sir. Well, I worked with him for 13 years up the paper. So.
Wow.
Oh, well, I guess you did.
Yeah. Well, tell me about that.
Well, John was his own unique person. So
care to elaborate, or?
I'm telling you. So he wrote every article you can think of. Was just history. He wrote one of my favorite articles he wrote was about my dog. I had a dog that bit 4 people.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. All of them were Tennessee fans. Every one of them.
Were they really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
A well-trained dog.
I had no idea about
I
it.
say you can't train a dog like that.
Yeah. That's a smart dog. Smartest dog I ever had.
All right, guys. Y'all have a good afternoon.
Thank you, Hot Rod. Well, on the subject of money, last week, Diego Pavia sat down with Bussin' with the Boys. I played this last week, but I don't know if you've heard this. Diego Pavia, who is, it's stamped full gore.
He's eligible.
He is eligible. He is the Vanderbilt quarterback coming up this fall, but he was also offered some money as well. Here is what Diego had to say with Bussin' with the Boys.
Chapter of the year was the portal blowing up for you on potential teams wanting you to come be the quarterback for them at a different school.
A lot. It was less
nuts.
like it was less reaching out to me. It was like more reaching out to like my brothers and my family and stuff.
Was there a dollar amount that you heard that was like holy shit?
Yeah, I don't know if I'm supposed to share, but like anywhere from like 4 to 4.5
To leave and go somewhere
to
else.
leave.
What conference?
SEC.
Checks out.
Ooh, in conference.
In conference.
Any Big Ten
Transfer.
teams trying to get you?
You want to play with the best. You don't want to play with the Big Ten.
Oh no, the full clip is fantastic because it's Taylor Lewan, the former Michigan
guy.
Yeah, he kind of digs into we've got the last 2. And
I spent a lot of time around Taylor Lewan.
Do you really?
Oh yeah. So Connor was on.
That's right.
was
The
up-
Titans
was up there the next year, but Mettenberger, of course, was up at the Titans at that time, and I'd go to lunch with Mettenberger and Taylor.
He's now
We
a
were
high
on-
school coach.
Yeah, I knew that. And Taylor, I met his mom, and we went to what was that place? What calls Losers? And one there's a bar with winners and losers. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
I can't.
Yeah, but they serve food too. I was
Yeah.
there eating.
Mm.
So yeah, and then Mettenberger's
liquid
wedding.
diet.
Yeah, and Connor's last game, he was Taylor was there, and we all went out. Yeah, he's an interesting fella.
Let's see if I can fast forward to the fun part.
You got to score 7 points to beat Iowa.
It's going to be a tough 7.
It's gonna be hard to score 7 points.
7-2 score.
That is true.
Like
They got a really good defense.
you guys resurrected a program. Iowa resurrected an extinct cornerback. Like that is you want to talk about who can achieve more.
I mean,
there's a cornerback in the NFL that's white right now.
I know.
because of Iowa.
I know.
A couple of them.
Don't
boys.
forget about Riley Moss now.
Cooper DeJean is good.
Yeah.
But I'm saying like you have to like the trenches too. In the SEC
Buddy, the
are
Big
just
Ten
different.
Big Ten is the trenches.
No,
Big Ten
let's
football.
think about this.
You want to talk about
The best
smash
pass
mouth
rushers
football?
are from the SEC, except like Abdul Carter. Like you'll find one. Like you'll have 1 or 2.
Yeah, the 3rd overall pick this year.
Yeah,
one.
But like you got
The inside
if
guys at
the
Michigan
kid
were
from
really
South
good.
Carolina could have left, he would have been a 1st round pick.
55.
The freshman?
Dylan
Yeah,
Sitter? Yeah. He's a menace.
We saw him at
He's a stud.
at media days, the Super Bowl, and he looked the part.
Yeah.
He looked the part. Who was in your mind the best defense you played against all year?
The best defense, Texas.
Tejas.
Yeah.
I was at that game. Bummed you guys couldn't make it out.
Yeah.
Weren't we all?
Yes.
I mean, weren't we all?
Well, that's the first time Texas ever beat Vanderbilt. They were 0-7.
You still love that.
That's shocking. That's what it was.
Well, Vanderbilt.
So
was,
I've been reading more about this Washington State, Oregon State.
Okay.
For
yeah.
the first 2 years of the conference of this year and last year, they'll get $220 million total. They somehow are getting money from the Rose Bowl as well.
Because of the tie-in with the Pac-12.
Yeah, the old tie-in.
Yeah,
Yes.
That's right.
Yeah.
Because there was still plenty of years left on that contract that the Rose Bowl has to buy out of the Pac-12.
Yeah, they'll each receive $50 million from that.
Pretty good little bank. All of a sudden,
you know, they'll end up financially pretty solid. So,
well, we do need to take our final time out and then walk you up to Braves baseball as the Braves just, having a good old time up there in Flushing. Let's see whether or not they can keep it rolling tonight.
You're listening to The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Tom Luganville here for my friends at Woody Anderson Ford. Bobby White and his team take great pride in their service department, and you can see it the moment you walk into those beautiful new service lanes. And just like a championship team, they all work together to make sure your experience is second to none, whether you drive a Ford or not. Also, check out the gold certified pre-owned inventory at Woody Anderson Ford for great deals every day. Stop by and see them at Jordan and Sparkman or at Woody Anderson of Madison on Hughes Road, or visit WoodyAndersonFord.com.
If hunting and outdoor recreation are your passions, it all starts with the right property. That's where I come in. I am Bo Butler with Southland Realty and Auction, a hunting and recreational land specialist and a Jackson County native who sees land through a hunter's eyes. Just as you trust your guide on a big game hunt, you can trust me to find the perfect property for you. Thinking of selling? Let me help you make your land attract buyers. Remember, Bo knows land. Call me at 256-609-0512.
There's a lot of talk these days about who's the biggest. I'm attorney Gary Lackey. Bigger doesn't equal better.
I'm attorney Jennifer Lackey. We know we're not the biggest. We don't want to be.
I'm attorney Justin Lackey. We're big enough to handle your case and get you the help you need,
but small enough to welcome you. Where you're never just a number, you're part of our family.
It's a Lackey Law Firm. 1-800-4-RIGHTS.
No representation is made that the quality of the legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
I'm here with our good friend, John Kendall. He's got 23 years of retail mortgage experience in the Tennessee Valley, and he's powered up with the #1 retail mortgage lender in the nation.
That's right, Scott. We have joined with Cross Country Mortgage, and that is true. We're the #1 retail mortgage lender in America. And with that powerhouse team and our experience here locally, we're ready to go.
They've got 120 mortgage, refinance, and home equity solutions to fit every need. If you call on Cross Country Mortgage, it is for the win.
That's right. You can reach me, Scott, at 256-562-3780, or you can go to crosscountrymortgage.com and then search my name.
It's Cross Country Mortgage and John Kendall, a powerhouse team. One more time, John.
That's crosscountrymortgage.com, 256-562-3780. If we can't close your loan, it simply cannot be closed.
Equal Housing Opportunity Company in MLS, number 3029.
Your customers deserve the best, and so do you. You invest in your customers with your heart, soul, and skill. Well, it's time to invest in yourself with the next generation Cat 255 compact track loader from Thompson Tractor. After all, those who give their best deserve the best, and this machine has it all, with features that include a more powerful engine, tri-axle truck loading capabilities, a spacious cab, and a smooth ride for all-day comfort. Best of all, now Thompson Tractor is making that investment even better with our Workhorse Special. Get 0% financing for 36 months on the purchase of a new Cat 255 compact track loader that comes with a 3-year warranty. You also get a 74-inch bucket and 1,000-hour filter kit. But hurry, this offer is only good through June 30th. Visit ThompsonTractor.com for details. Thompson Tractor, we're here for you.
Your Fox 54 weather, brought to you by Tellini's Italiano.
I'm Chief Meteorologist Stuart Dressman. A partly sunny sky this afternoon. Once again, temperatures climbing into the mid and upper 90s. Heat indices anywhere between 104 and 108. Going to be another hot afternoon. Temperatures drop into the mid 70s as we head into the overnight. A partly sunny sky for your Thursday. Slightly better opportunity for rain. Otherwise, temperatures climb into the mid and upper 90s.
Your Fox 54 weather, only on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. The Tom Abraham Show. Weekdays beginning at noon on 97.7 ESPN The Zone and WZZN TV.
Winding things down here on a Wednesday. Hey, tomorrow, full moon barbecue.
That's what I'm talking about.
And something I did not know, but I'm willing to share with the class. I don't even know if the guy from noon to 2 shared with the class. I don't know. I didn't hear him share with the class. If you head over to Big Zone Deals right now, Corlejos is $20. Bad Daddy's Burger Bar is $20. Flow, $20.
Big sale.
Full Moon is $20.
Yes.
Hello.
You still get 50 for $20.
It's 20% off.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dudes, go load up.
It lasted for 2 more days after today.
Bigfoot Little Donuts,
$20.
$20.
Yeah.
And you still get 50. So this is not half off. This is over half off.
Yeah.
So, and Hickory Store Barbecue, $20. So, I mean, the deals are there. Even better deals. And so I'm about to load up.
It's already a great deal.
It's
now it's even better.
And just know the more certificates you buy, the more you save. So just have at it. We still have cheeseburger bobbies. Those are 25. Okay. But still, you're getting 50 back. But there is a lot. You were not at the meeting on Tuesday. I was there at the meeting on Tuesday. I was not privy. Did I miss that part of the meeting?
If you missed it, I did too.
I mean, the guy from noon to 2 usually shares with the class on these zone deals. And then I got an email because I get email alerts.
It might have been his next meeting. He decided he needed to.
You know what I need to do? I need to decide on
Where you're eating tonight.
better zone deals. So Corlejos, Bad Daddies, Flow, Trampoline, which is indoors, moms and dads.
That read air conditioning.
Yes. Full Moon Barbecue, Bigfoot Little Donuts, and Hickory Store Barbecue are all $20 for 50. Simple as that. And then I'm thinking about doubling up, going Full Moon tonight and tomorrow night because we're going to be there tomorrow night. There's enough on that menu.
Yeah.
There's enough on that menu.
Oh, yeah.
Walking up to Braves baseball. Braves now 9.5 games back of first place, and the first place team is no longer the Mets. They're 1-10 in their last 11 games, and the Braves have yet to lose to the Metropolitans, but we'll see what happens here tonight. It is nice to see other teams having bullpen trouble on what we've seen out of the first half of this season. Game 79 tonight for the Atlanta Braves. Road game number 42 for the Atlanta Braves as they are 37-41. And honestly, the Mets are keeping the Braves afloat for the East Division. They just are. And especially when the Braves went down 3-0 last night, I thought, all right, is what it is. Is what it is. They can still beat the Mets, but they can't beat the Marlins. Who knew? Who knew? Braves, after this series, will have the Filthies this weekend, then an off day, and then the Angels head over to Cobb County. Of course, the Angels are the parent company of the Rocket City Trash Pandas, and
you're about 20 minutes away from pregame there. First pitch, 6:35. You still got time to get out to Toyota Field.
There you go. We'll talk
to us on the way.
We'll talk to you tomorrow from Full Moon Barbecue. Jordy Arman going to join us.
All good things must come to an end. That holds true for employee pricing, too. Hey, folks, it's Bobby White back again for Woody Anderson Ford. The last day for employee pricing is going to be July 7th. Up until then, you can buy the new Ford you want and pay what we pay. We've got nearly 150 F-150s to choose from with generous finance rates and the best deals of the year on America's best-selling truck for 48 years in a row. Had your eye on a